So last part of this subject is about analytic geometry. So we will be talking about straight lines or equations of lines, the conic sections, and topic also includes curve tracing in both rectangular and polar coordinates in two-dimensional space. One example of straight line is this one, okay? Sloping down to the right or sloping up to the right. Then basically kasi we have three-dimensional. Yung meron tayong x, y, tsaka z axis. X, y, and z axis. So hindi na tayo magdodrawing ng mga figures dito. Dito lang tayo sa xy plane tsaka dun sa isa, dun sa polar coordinates dito. Two good references dito sa subject na to ay yung libro nila Love and Rainville, Analytic Geometry, and of course yung libro nila Demana. So you can find the link of the video or the book in the video description. So you can download this book for free. So here is one of the figure of the book of Demana. So figure 8.2. So wherein we can view or we can visualize the conic sections. Of course, our discussion here is aligned with the book of Love and Rainville. So we can use this as a reference only. So our learning outcomes, number 1 is set up equations given enough properties of lines and conic sections. So most of the time, we are going to write equations, draw the lines or the conic sections, something like that. So we have a lot of equations, but we will focus more on the basic concepts. So number 2, learning outcomes. Draw the graph of a given equation of a line and conic section. So ito yung sinabi ko kanina. Drawing kayo. Then number 3, trace completely the curve given the equations in both rectangular and polar coordinates. So in rectangular, we have again x saka y axis. Okay. So dito tayo meron tayong example point with coordinate x and y. So meaning yung x dito, yun yung distance mula dito sa y-axis hanggang doon. So yun yung x. Yun yung y mula dito hanggang dito, yun yung y. So for example, meron tayong 3 and 4. 4 tsaka x. 4, 4x and 3, 4y. So meaning nung 4, yun yung mula dito hanggang dito. Then for polar coordinates, ang given naman natin dito ng mga variable ay yung r instead na x saka y, r and theta. Example point natin dito yung point Q. Okay? So kung yung point dito na-trace yun or na-determine natin gamit yung x and y coordinates, dito naman depende yun sa theta tsaka dun sa length ng radius. So meaning meron kayong angle tsaka radius. Yung radius, ang reference natin ng length niya ay yung pole. So dito kasi yung origin, dito naman yung pole. Okay? So yung reference ng r, and then yung theta dito sa polar axis. Yung lines dito, ito naman yung reference natin dito sa pag-drawing ng haba ng radius. So halimbawa, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 units, then 4, etc. So say for example, 7 units hanggang dito, and then this is your theta. Say for example, 30 degrees. So therefore, the coordinate of this point is 7 and 30 degrees. You will also write the angle in terms of radian. So usually here in the Cartesian coordinate, our equation is in the form y is equal to f of x or x is equal to f of y. So example nito ay yung y is equal to 2x plus 1. Then ito, an example of this form of equation is x is equal to 2y minus 1. So examples lang mga to. Then ito yung mga i-drawing ninyo. So paano ba mag-plot ng mga ganito? So basically, mag-assign kayo ng mga value dun sa x o di kaya sa y. Pwede rin i-solve yung intercepts. Yung intercepts, meron tayong dalawa, x at y intercepts. Yung x-intercept, yun yung value ng x kapag 0 yung y. Okay? Yun namang y-intercept, that is the value of y if x is 0. For example here, if x is 0, your y is 1. Okay? So if you are going to plot that point wherein you have your x as 0 or equal to 0 and y is equal to 1, ito yung kunwari yung ating axis. So ang 0x, so wala tayong value ng x, y ay 1, so ito yon. 0 yung x, then yung y ay 1. Then next, what if your y is 0? So if your y is 0, so here if y is 0, the value of your x is simply equal to negative 1/2. So if you will plot this point wherein you have your negative 1/2, so say this is negative 1/2, and then y 0, so therefore this is your point. So negative 1/2 and y is 0. Therefore we can now plot the straight line. So we can just simply connect these 2 points. So this is our equation. Y is equal to 2x plus 1. That is one way of drawing or plotting the given equation of a line. Another example, say for example, meron tayong y equal to 2x. So ito wala siyang intercept. So meaning kapag nag-assign tayo ng value dun sa x na 0, so ang y natin dyan ay 0 din. So similarly, pag 0 yung y, wala din tayong x. So meaning wala tayong intercepts pag ganito. So ang gagawin natin, mag-assign tayo ng ibang value dun sa either dun sa x or sa y. So say for example dito, mag-assign tayo ng sabihin natin 1 na lang. So ang y dyan na masusolve natin is equal to 2. So pwede nyo i-plot ngayon tong dalawang points na to para ma-drawing yung line. Okay, so pwede rin kayo mag-assign dito ng negative 1 sa x. Okay, and then yung y nyo doon, syempre, negative 2. I-plot na natin to. So, halimbawa, ito yung ating x and y axis again. Ito yung x, ito yung y, ito yung origin. So, ang 0, 0, alam natin dito. So, ito na yan. Then, yung 1 tsaka 2, yung x mo 2 units. So, or yung x ay 1 unit. So, sabihin natin dito. And then, yung y ay 2. So, dito. So, therefore, ito yung point na 1 and 2. So, therefore, yung line na y equals to 2x is this one. So, y equal to 2x. For polar coordinate, our equation is in the form r is equal to f theta. Say, for example, r is equal to 2 sine square theta. Then, from that equation, so we need to assign values for theta to plot this curve. Let us make some table. Say this is your theta and this is your r. So the first value for theta should be 0. Take note, this is only one example of plotting a given equation in polar coordinates. So theta here can be radian or degrees. So if your theta here is in radian, you need to switch the mode of your calculator into radian. So you can assign up to 360 degrees or 2 pi. So 2 pi radian or 360 degrees to trace a given curve in polar coordinates. So, but basically again, you need to start from 0. So let us assign, say for example, 0, pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3, and pi over 2. Take note that our angles here are in radian. So we switch our calculator in radian. But if you prefer degrees. So just assign or write down, say for example 0 and 30. So pi over 6 is 30. So our first value is 0 if theta is 0. So 0. Then if it is pi over 6, we have 1/2. Again, if your calculator is in radian, your angle should be in radian. If you are in degrees, your angle should be in degrees also. So these are the value of our radius from 0 to pi or 180. So let us plot these points. So 0, 0. So here we have 0 and 0, and the next is 30 degrees. We have 1/2. So if this is 1 unit, anyway you can scale or you can draw any length as long as it fits your figure or your working area. So first point is 0, 0. Okay, so this one. The next is pi over 6 or 30 degrees. And we have 1/2 unit for the radius. So say this is 1/2. And this is your 30 degrees. So you need to use your protractor again and straight edge. The next angle is pi over 4 or 45 degrees. Say this is 45. And then your radius is 1. So you need to draw or use compass to draw that 1 unit. So yung haba nito hanggang doon at dito dapat pareho lang. So 1 unit. Then next is pi over 3 or 60 degrees. So assuming this is our 60 degrees, so we have 3/2 or 1.5. So if this is 1, say this is your 1.5. So this point is pi over 3 for the angle. And then next, pi over 2. So the length of our radius here is 2 units. So say this is your 2 unit radius. Then if you will plot the point, so we have, so from 0, we can now connect the point. So you can continue up to 360 or 2 pi. Then connect the points. So take note, this should be a smooth curve. You can use your French curve. So we can now proceed to straight line. So straight line is a line that does not change in direction. So our first equation is the general equation, ax plus by plus c, or simply x plus by plus c. Then standard equation of a line. So number 1, point slope form. So meaning from the word itself, point and slope. Okay, so we have a given point and slope. Slope is simply the inclination of the line. So say for example, this line, so we have sloping up to the right, but if we have this one, so sloping down to the right. Okay, so wala tayong down to the left tsaka up to the left. So up to the right lang tsaka down to the right. And then how about the horizontal line? So the slope is this line or horizontal line is 0. Slope is denoted by m, and this one is undefined or infinite. Point slope form y minus y1 is equal to the slope m multiplied by the quantity x minus x1. y1 is the y coordinate at a given point.
Then yung x1 dito, yun yung actually x coordinate ng point.
So kung magsusolve tayo ng equation, ito yung isang magagamit natin kapag given daw yung slope tsaka yung point. So hindi lang tayo dito nagdo-drawing ng line. Magsusolve din tayo ng equations. Number 2, slope intercept form.
So kapag ang given naman ay slope m tsaka intercept b, so ang gagamiting formula ay y is equal to mx plus b.
Next we have intercept form. So here we have intercepts A and B. A is the x-intercept and the y-intercept is B. Wala tayong lalagay dito kundi yung mga intercepts na. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong given na mga intercepts sa problem. The next, yung 2-point form. Ito naman, meron tayong 2 points given. So, the equation to be used, if we want to write the equation, is this one. So, you can just simply substitute the coordinates here. X2, Y2, and X1, Y1. The next subtopic for straight line. So we have distance between 2 points. So we have the equations d is equal to the square root of the quantity x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. So we can derive this using Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so that distance is simply this one. Okay, so then yung x2 minus x1 is actually the distance between these 2 points, or horizontal distance. This is your x2 minus x1. Anyway, you can apply this distance formula whatever the location of the points. Say for example, yung points nyo nandito tsaka dito, pwede rin. Okay, next yung quantity na y2 minus y1, actually yung y distance dito, o yung vertical distance, so yung y2 minus y1. Then gamit yung Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so using our Pythagorean theorem, we can now solve d, which is simply the square root of the square of the two sides. The next is slope of a line. So the formula is simply y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. So again, yung slope, pwede nyo i-derive dito. That is simply the ratio of this side, yung raised over run. Okay, so y2 minus y1, ito yun, over yung x2 minus x1. So you can also use this equation even if your line is sloping down to the right. Okay, so for example, point 1 and point 2. Then alternate or other formula for this slope is tangent theta. The next distance of a point from a line. So the equation is this one. So we have an equation, say for example this one and the given point. If you want to solve the distance between this point and this line, you can use this formula. But take note that we're going to use positive if b is positive, so meaning the coefficient of y is positive. Then negative if the coefficient of b or y is negative. So simple illustration of this case is this one. So we have the line and the point. Okay, so we can use again this equation whatever yung location ng point or ng line. And then yung d na yan, yung perpendicular distance actually. Okay, so ito yung right angle siya. Next is distance between two parallel lines. So for example, meron tayong dalawang lines. Ito yung equations nila. Anyway, yung L1 tsaka L2, yun lang yung ginagamit natin para ma-designate yung given lines. So instead of writing line 1, so we use L sub 1. Instead of writing line 2, we use L sub 2. So the formula or equation to be used to solve the distance between two parallel lines is this one. So simple illustration is here we have L1 or line 1 or the first line, second line, and the perpendicular distance between them. The next formula, angle between two lines. So here we have tangent theta. So meaning we need to solve the arc tangent this one or this quantity. So M2 here is the slope of one line and M1 is the slope of the other. The next we have the relation between parallel and perpendicular lines.
So here are some example of the important relations between parallel and perpendicular lines. So say for example, for L1 we have slope M1, then for L3 or line 3 we have M3, and for the slope of line 2 we have M2. So the relation between parallel lines, they have the same slope. Okay, and then for perpendicular lines, for example, M2 and M1, so they are perpendicular here. So the relation between them is that the slope of one of them is equal to the negative reciprocal of the other. So dito makikita nyo yung M2, ang relation niya sa slope M3 ay equal to negative 1 over M3 or vice versa. So pwede ring M1 is equal to negative 1 over M2.